In this video I will explain why it's not longer possible to steer away from wolves, also for civilized countries, and why, and what should be done about them, in my opinion. So first of all, wolves cannot be kept away from westernized countries or put into reservations, so they only are limited to a certain area. And why is that? Because you have activists that will just illegally set out wolves, or wolf hybrids. So a wolf hybrid is a cross between a wolf and another canine, for example a dog. So if you take one male wolf and you interbred it with, for example, 50 female dogs, you get a lot of semi-wolves that you can put into the wild and speed up the process. And those illegally set out wolves will also not be kept only in reservations. So those activists want the wolves to roam complete of Europe and other places as well. So that's one. So if they are there and are not able to be restricted in reservations, what could you do if you are a farmer or something like that? There are things they like you can put on restrictions. So like fences or other stuff, but those fences do work to a certain degree, but they have to be very high, also quite costly. And even in Australia, where they have a similar problem with wild canines, dingoes in this case, those fences are not always completely working. So what's another option that you could do? Especially if you don't have the financial assets available to make those fences, or it's very how to say this, uncertain how things will develop in your country, also regarding the laws for farmers, or is there a place for farmers in that country. You could also do what other people do, where there are still quite a lot of wolves and they have dogs, not little dogs like this little guy, but they have big dogs, livestock protection breeds like Ovsjarkas, Alabais, Kangals, and the likes. And those dogs, what do? They stay with the herd of your sheep or your cattle, and they will protect it. They are a lot bigger than wolves, and of course they can still die if they're facing wolves, but they often have big collars around their neck, and those big collars have spikes. And those spikes, if a wolf tries to grab the neck, it will bite into those spikes. And when they do, they will damage themselves instead of killing the prey. If you have a wolf that is hitting this area, you have a big chance of bleeding out. But if it's protected by a strong collar and it also has spikes, it will be an additional protection of wolves. And then you have people saying, yeah, a wolf will attack here. And of course they will, but often they attack the stomach area when they are attacking a prey. And the livestock protection breed will face wolves head on. So they will face them with their heads attacking the other heads. And of course also in canine combat, for example pit bulls, some pit bulls will be stomach dogs, so they will direct their hits to the stomach or to the ribs. So it will not be a complete protection. But wolves, very often when they combat each other, and you can look this up, they will attack head on. And of course a pack of wolves will act differently. But therefore it's also recommended, and you see that in those countries as well, those regions, that they have not one livestock protection breed, but a small pack of themselves. So 2 to 3 or even more dogs are used. So that's one thing that you could do. You could also look into different protection services, and perhaps they will also say, okay, it's allowed to keep the wolf numbers to a certain level, and then hunters are allowed to hunt them again. If they are getting too abundant, that could also be a fact of life. But I don't know if this will go through. The thing with the protection dogs is something that you could consider. You should also consider that in domesticated areas, westernized countries, you should take care that those protection dogs uh, are still suitable also with humans. So, for example, if you keep your sheep in a nature environment that also allows wanderers to walk there, that they do attack wolves, if or most of the time there's not even a wolf attack. There's an preventive action by seeing those big dogs. Some dogs are part of the herd. They look a lot like sheep. Some of those dogs are gigantic. Some of those dogs are a little bit less bulky but faster. And you could also have combinations of these type of dogs, of course. So those are the things that you could do about the wolf problem. And you can just embrace it. If it's there, you can take some actions to make sure that the damage is restricted and that also the wolves are not being shot if not needed. There's also some people that what they did with the dingo problem is that they put a lot of poison. Of course, you will also damage other wildlife in that way, but also humans, children could eat it, for example, or your own dogs. And poison is a very bad way of dealing with things, in my opinion. Have a great day. This is my 1.5-year-old Patterdale. He has been bred, these type of dogs, for controlling foxes, because also in England, foxes kill a lot of sheep, those big foxes, and also a lot of chickens and other animals are killed by foxes, and then they use hunting dogs to limit the foxes' numbers, and also badgers, similar ways. Have a great day.